Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. I'm Snappy, and thank you for joining me for our live tarot session today, November 25th, 2024. It's a beautiful day and a wonderful evening. Let's give a shout out to everyone here in the chat. Valerie, it's great to see you. Gandhi, it's good to see you. Gomi Kozu, much love. Christy, much love. Hollerhaint, great to see you. Roving Fungus, much love. Valerie Potner, much love. Nikosmas, great to see you. Lilith, much love. Isaac, great to see you. Daphne, much love. And Atma, much love. All right, let's start out by talking a bit about the astrology. So we've now shifted our moon into Libra. And Libra is that beautiful energy of balance. It's that beautiful energy of justice, of the air. It is that desire to move and flow and to want to rise and soar. So under the Libra moon, we really are going to be in this desire to socialize and to connect and to be in movement, and especially heightened by that Sagittarius sun, which also seeks such movement, right? Seeks change and transformation. So we're really going to feel that energy and desire and that restlessness. And at the same time, we're going to feel a bit disconnected from our emotions. You know, Libra is that energy of not being too sure of where you sit in the scale sometimes if it gets out of balance. But we can, with a little bit of focus and a little bit of self-love, figure out where we're at and move in flow. So that's the energy today. Interesting. And let's talk about the title. Embrace freedom and joy and be one with the spirit of life. The card I drew for this was the Fool, that Dionysus card, the divine child, the divine beginning, how we all are in the world, stumbling in innocence. And when we see this card, it's about taking that leap, embracing joy, and being innocent. You know, often the best way forward is simply to move forward, to simply be in that spirit of life and to pursue desire and to not worry so much, to return back to that innocence, to not overthink, and to see people in the world around you from that immediate vantage point, you know, not to overestimate or scare yourself or be bogged down by media and other things, right? To be in that happy ignorance. You know, the Fool is that incredible energy, you know, and it's also that one who takes that leap, right? In joy, in frivolity, in grandiose expression, who follows that desire, right? In the tarot of Lady Frida Harris and Aleister Crowley, that Fool is projecting into the universe through the sun energy in the genitals, in that Muladhara chakra, right? And it's about that following forward with our body, with our basal self, pursuing what we love, you know? And that's what we want to engage in, this childlike wonder and play, and that willingness to pursue what we're interested in, you know? Beautiful. So that is the beginning energy. And I wanted to read for you guys a fun poem that I found. It's called, let me just bring it up here, sorry. It's called The Somnambulist or Sleepwalker by Madison Julius Kawine. Oaks and a water, by the water eyes, ice green and steadfast as cold stars and hair, yellow as eyes deep in a she-wolf's lair, and limbs like darkness that the lightning dyes. The humped oaks stand black under iron skies. The dry wind whirls the dead leaves everywhere. Wild on the waterfalls a vulture glare of moon, and wild the circling raven flies. Again the power of this thing hath laid illusion on him, and he seems to hear a sweet voice calling him beyond his gates. Too longed for love, he comes each forest glade, seems reaching out white arms to draw him near, nearer and nearer to the death that awaits. Are you sleepwalking towards death? Are you ignoring the true reality in front of you? And are you getting bogged down and manipulated? Something to think on. And the way that we realize these things is but first by engaging the self, and learning to be in that self and to love the self. That's where it all starts. All right. We are now going to go to the Ganapati Oracle. Ganesha Ganapati is the divine child, the Lord of beginnings, the guardian of the threshold, and the master of the spirits, the Ganas, the most beautiful, the most loving. And we ask them to send us an inspiring message and to ensure that our words are heard by those who need to hear them. So, Ganapati, what is the inspiring message? Whoa, I'm getting things shot out of here. Okay. We have a couple. This is interesting. Guidance. Wow. Guidance. We received this energy yesterday, 33, right? And that energy of the guidance, about learning to listen and to be in that childlike energy, right? To take heed of what other people are saying and to look to those giants around us, and to be in that innocence and being able and willing to learn and listen and to not assume and to not pass judgment or have preconceived conclusions, right? We have to be willing to let go to a certain point. We have to be willing to accept that guidance. We have to be willing to hear that guidance. All of this requires patience, and it also requires that childlike wonder and ability to engage through listening and through accepting. And then the other one, achievement. Wow, interesting. Achievement. Now you see Ganapati with his twin wives. Wow, interesting. The energy that I'm getting from this is about that accomplishment, about rising and completing. We're beginning in that child, and then we're ending with that achievement. But how do we get there from here, right? How do we connect these two energies? And it's really about practice, going after, taking that leap, willing to transform and to learn, to seek after wisdom, and this is about really embodying that long-term goal. And to achieve something, you have to set a goal as well. You have to imagine a completion, and you have to accept it as something worthy, right? You have done something, you have accomplished your goal, right? So it's so important taking that guidance in that pursuit of achievement, right? Achievement, actualizing the dream. Beautiful energy. All right. Let's continue. We're now going to go to our sortes. And today we are going to begin. Well, the sortes is a form of bibliomancy, that is divination through literature, and it comes to us from the Greco-Roman tradition. And we invoke the goddesses of inspiration, the divine muses, and we ask them to send us a message through the text. So today we're going to begin with Women Who Run with Wolves, Myths and Stories of the Wild Woman Archetype by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. All right, so muses, what is the message from Women Who Run with Wolves? Inspire us. On this journey toward true home, though we may from time to time turn back to record or measure from whence we came, we do not turn back in order to turn back. On this journey toward true home, though we may from time to time turn back to record or measure from whence we came, we do not turn back in order to turn back. I have said this very line before. You cannot recreate the past. There is no going back into the past in that literal sense. And to try is to negate that ever-changing foundation of reality. You know, you have to fundamentally let the past go. That doesn't mean that you cannot engage in it through love and respect and through understanding, through learning and through connection, right? As she was saying here, on this journey towards true home, though we may from time to time turn back to record or measure from whence we came, right? To tell stories, to engage with the past from that perspective of learning and understanding and honor, right? But we do not turn back in order to go backwards. It's always about embracing the next generation, the new and the newness, and recognizing that we are this ever expanding chain outward that is ever evolving, ever transforming every moment. And that we need to accept this and pursue that life into the future. And we have to imagine ourselves into the future, not try to maintain a present or not try to resurrect a past. What we want to do is instead is engage with the images of the past and utilize them in the way to transform our future into something greater still, right? That combination. We take those lessons and we can actualize something different, something new. We're going to do something new no matter what, you know? Even when we try, it will always come back as a shallow thing. This is why a lot of these sloganeerings that you hear about, we're going to go back to the past, it's an impossibility. It's an impossibility. And it is foolish. As we see in the story of Orpheus, right? Orpheus goes down to the depths of Hades and he's able to engage. He's able to connect with his wife, Eurydice. And he's able to even to please Hades enough that he can get Hades to grant him his wish, which is to take Eurydice and have her come back with him from the dead. But Hades tells him if he looks back, if he doubts her even once, that she will return to the earth forever and he will lose her. But it's almost a catch-22, this kind of a situation, right? It was almost a guaranteed outcome because fundamentally you cannot bring anyone back from the dead, even if you are Orpheus and you have the magic to woo the dead god. The only way to bring back the dead is to re-engage the future, to produce something new. We are all reborn anew every moment. You yourself are ever changing, ever growing, right? And the dead will be reborn as something new. But you cannot bring back that image of them as once they were. And that's the thing, right? By looking back to see Eurydice, he wanted to see that his wife as she was coming back with him. He was also doubting her ability to come, fearful. He wanted to hold on and remember that image of her. And it's all of that that could not come, right? She would come, but not as she was. All right, let's continue. We are now going to go to The Stranger, Albert Camus. Muses, what is the message from Albert Camus? Inspire us. I don't feel like talking, and I'll be seeing him soon enough as it is. I don't feel like talking, and I'll be seeing him soon enough as it is. All I care about right now is escaping the machinery of justice, seeing if there's any way out of the inevitable. Is that not what we are all seeking to do? And this is what we're being told to do, right? Stop talking and instead seek to overcome the machinations of that justice. See if there's a way out of the inevitable. Ooh, that's some wild imagery right there. Let's continue. We're going to go now to Byron. Selected poetry and letters. Muses, what is the message from Lord Byron? This was a handsome board, at least for heaven, and yet they had had even then enough to do. So many conquerors' cars were daily driven, so many kingdoms fitted up anew. Each day to slew its 1,006 or 7, till at the crowning carnage Waterloo, they threw their pens down in divine disgust. The page was so besmeared with blood and dust. The game, the gods playing with us as if it's a game, right? This was a handsome board, at least for heaven. And yet they had even then enough to do. So many conquerors' cars were daily driven. So many kingdoms fitted up anew, right? Turning out these petty conquerors to create new kingdoms and new carnage. Each day to slew its 1,006 or 7, till at the crowning carnage Waterloo. Now this sets our scene, the Napoleonic Wars, and that Battle of Waterloo was so filled with carnage, they threw their pens down in divine disgust. The page was so besmeared with blood and dust. Even the gods themselves threw down their pen and disengaged. Whoa. But that's the way the pendulum swings, right? When you start to instigate that violence, it gets out of control. It gets out of control, right? And I think the message, what we're being told in many ways, is that we have to find and imagine a way to prevent that pendulum from swinging too far. Woof. Scary. All right. A Sinister Assassin by Antonin Artaud. Muses, what is the message from Artaud? Inspire us. Okay. And it's not in the spirit of persecution to believe this. Right now, a cabal has been mounted against me, which will have all kinds of repercussions. Oh, wow. And it's not in the spirit of persecution to believe this. Right now, a cabal has been mounted against me, and which can have all kinds of repercussions. Right? Look around you. What's happening? Interesting. All right. Lorca, 3 tragedies. Muses, what is the message from Lorca? Inspire us. In this house, you'll do what I order. You can't run with the story to your father anymore. Needle and thread for women, whiplash and mules for men. That's the way it has been for people who have certain obligations. Oh, whoa. So intense. In this house, you'll do what I order. You can't run with the story to your father anymore. Needle and thread for women, whiplash and mules for men. That's the way it has to be for people who have certain obligations. Are we returning to a feudal society? Oof, interesting. Let's continue. Magia by Alan Chapman. Muses, what is the message from Alan Chapman? Yes, it is a process, a series of awakenings, each with a false appearance of the absence of a particular stage or level in the cosmology. Wow. Yes, it is a process, a series of awakenings, each with a false appearance. Each has a false perception, has something that can potentially ensnare us, catch us off guard. Everything has a mirror, right? Everything has that twin image, each with a false appearance of the absence of a particular stage or level in the cosmology. You must face yourself. You must face the mirror of yourself every single time on every single level of the stage, right? As you are reborn, so is your other, right? Forever changing, forever growing. Goethe, Faust. Muse, what is the message from Goethe? Inspire us. My reason swoons with vision so sublime. My reason swoons with vision so sublime. Now that is a beautiful sortes. Learning reason and learning to trust in reason and to manifest reason will give you that sublime vision. And what is reason, right? We see reason in the tarot. Reason is that 6 of swords, science, perfected understanding, the middle path that comes from that ability to connect with the variety of perspectives, to learn and listen from community, to seek that guidance. Again, we are seeing that Ganapati energy that we saw on the beginning, right? That reason will produce the sublime vision that will enable us to gain that grand achievement. And it comes from being able to balance everything in that perspective, to listen and learn and to take and to see things clearly. It is only through the expansion of our individual self that we can truly learn. And we do so in a multiple number of ways. We must read. We must engage with that past. We must listen to our peers. We must look to everyone around us and disregard nothing. Every single person that you meet along the path has been brought here to aid in your evolution. And this is a hard lesson, but it is a reality. And when you start to learn and listen, then you'll see what you need to do in your own life and on your own path. And you can confront the self and you can evolve and change. You will change no matter what. You might as well attempt to change for the better. My reason swoons with vision so sublime. All right, let's continue. Lewis Carroll, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. Muses, what is the message from Alice in Wonderland? When I'm a duchess, she said to herself, not in a very hopeful tone, though, I won't have any pepper in my kitchen at all. Soup does very well without. Maybe it's always pepper that makes people hot-tempered. She went on, very much pleased at having found out a new kind of rule, and vinegar that makes them sour, and chamomile that makes them bitter, and barley sugar and such things that make children sweet-tempered. I only wish people knew that. Then they wouldn't be so stingy about it, you know? And you see the childlike fancy, right? And the way the mind just connects and makes these distinctions. We're now seeing the opposite of reason. We're seeing the complete childlike silliness. It's interesting. We also got that childlike silliness, right? We got that energy of the fool. When I was meditating, that was our significator. So when I'm thinking of this, there's also this silliness, right? And this ability, what's here is we see all these synchronicities. You know, I think it's about a balance. That fool, that ability to be able to see the world around you and learn from it. You know, it's a beautiful thing if you can do it in balance and you don't let it outside of the self, right? It's something that the mind creates in order for you to better move along your journey. And it is for you, right? Too many of us, we get swept up in these kind of connections. But if you can balance it, it can be this great tool of engagement and of evolution and of taking responsibility in that loving flow. Wow. Interesting. Let's continue. All right. L'Autre Malador, and other poems. Muses, what is the message from L'Autre. O creator of the universe, I will not fail to offer you up this morning the incense of my childish prayer. O creator of the universe, I will not fail to offer you up this morning the incense of my childish prayer. Childish prayer. Now we are seeing where that fool energy comes into play. It is the child that asks for help, for guidance. And what is the guidance we are seeking? We just got the clear answer from the muse. Prayer. And who do we pray to? The creatrix. Who is the uncreated creator? The great mother, the virgin who gives birth of herself to the universe, right? Beautiful. And this is what we're being told, is to approach her in that childlike wonder and offer her thanks and honor and recognition daily. With incense, that sweet smell. Beautiful. All right, let's continue. The House of the Dead, Jeremy Reed. Muses, what is the message from Jeremy Reed? Inspire us. I recruited who built Jerusalem out of nootropic factors and jewels, picked out of London dirt, emeralds and sapphires, diamond pillars of crystallized acid, and hallucinated a revisioned city built out of poetry, some great metric architected out of psychedelics, a fourfold capital, Golgonooza. My streets are my ideas of imagination. Wow. Now that is beautiful. I recruited who built Jerusalem out of nootropic factors and jewels picked out of London dirt, emeralds and sapphires, diamond pillars of crystallized acid, and hallucinated a revision city built out of poetry, some great metric architected out of psychedelics, a fourfold capital, Golgonooza. My streets are my ideas of imagination. We must imagine the city of ladies. To put it in another phrase. Another book I always recommend is The City of Ladies by the incredible philosopher Christine de Pizan. And in it, the muses come down, the three ladies, reason, rectitude, and justice, and they help Christine imagine and create the perfected city, the city of ladies that will honor and respect people and survive through the generations, be that foundation that persists in spite of the chaos. And when she was writing that book, it was in the heart of the 100 Years' War and constant revolution in France. Wow. King was mad. Interesting. What we see here is that we engage in that dreaming. We use the whatever is necessary, and we take from our experiences, from the dirt of London. We create emeralds and sapphires. We imagine something greater, right? We engage with those around us and we produce something. Beautiful. Let's continue. Ten Plays by Euripides. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message from Euripides? Inspire us. One further word, Aegisthus must die. If you lose the bout and meet your death, I too am dead. Speak of me no longer as living. I shall pierce my liver with the two-edged sword. Oh, wow. I've read this one before. One further word, Aegisthus must die. If you lose the bout and meet your death, I too am dead. Speak of me as no longer living. I shall pierce my liver with the two-edged sword. I think we're receiving this message again because it's such an important one. What you're seeing is that tit for tat of violence, that cycle that pits people against each other in such incredible violence that it has to explode, that people have to end it. They have to go to these extremes and they destroy themselves, right? You see it here that even if you lose, I will kill myself, you know? You have to win. We are engaged in this battle of unto destruction. Wow. How do we overcome this kind of violence? I'm immediately reminded of another play by Aeschylus, Orestes. And in that, the goddess of Athena herself intervenes and she sets up the courts of law, democracy, and they bring in understanding and perspective. She calms the Furies by taking their hit and returning with love. Can we be that stronger person? Can we be that greater force? Can we take the violence and not hit back? That's an intense image. Let's continue. We're going to do one last sorties, The Telltale Heart and Other Writings, Edgar Allan Poe. Uses, what is the message from Poe? Among the other kinds of tame fowls were ducks, differing very little from the canvas back of our own country, black garnets, and a large bird not unlike the buzzard in appearance, but not carnivorous. The tame fowl, the kind birds, ducks, black garnets, a buzzard. These spirits, I immediately think in the Greek tradition, the birds are often the associated with Aphrodite. They are her eyes and ears, and the birds are seen as the most beautiful and transcendent. There's a famous poem by Ovid where he says, if the pursuit of the universe was beauty, the gods would have stopped with the birds because there's nothing more beautiful, right? And the cry of the birds, all of it, the wailing, the song of the birds. It is said that the rishis heard the Vedas sung by the birds. And, the vulture, the buzzard, is often seen to be the most sacred and special of all of the birds because they do not consume other birds, and nor do they only consume the dead. They don't consume anything living. They don't just kill. They consume the dead. They clean. So they were seen as beyond sacred and special, the buzzard, And Medea is often associated with that vulture, that buzzard bird. It is said that it's her vulture that is perpetually eating the liver of Prometheus. Interesting. All right. We are now going to go to our tarot proper. But before I do, please give me a like and a subscribe. And if you're at all interested in a private reading, please reach out to me, Snappy, ddts@gmail.com. I would so love to hear from you. All right. And we are using the Tarot Tabula Mundi, by M.M. Moline. And we are invoking the energy of Saturn Chronos and asking them to dissect our life, to expose it upon the plate so that we can see the interconnections and ask how we can rise above the conflicts, how we can best move and flow, and how we can manifest our true wills. And what is that greater message for our community? And as always, the center card is the most important. Okay. And today's center is oh my gosh, the Lovers. A repeat of yesterday. The Lovers. Again. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful energy. And if you remember from yesterday, the Lovers is that profound alchemical marriage. It's the coming together of opposites. It is the seeing yourself reflected in the natural world, learning to respect and love another and embody another at the same time for the pursuit of that creation and generation, to come together in loving flow and harmony, to create something greater still of each other, and to be transformed entirely, to be made better through your other, and to make your other better still. Powerful, transformative, creative, beautiful energy. Wow. And we're seeing another card that we had. That death. That death energy, that letting go of the past, that disconnecting from ways that were. What I'm seeing here connected to the Lovers is that it's about learning to let go of past loves and to embrace current loves. We're seeing that energy again of that not turning to the past, of recreating and pushing into the future. So this has to be a generative love, a love that produces and brings children into that future. And we have to let go of those images of the past that hold us back, that prevent us, that bring that anxiety, that bring that fear, right? We want to embrace that energy of the fool and leap with that childlike wonder. Wow. And we have that Lady Babylon, that incredible justice, that incredible strength, that powerful goddess, right? That powerful desire that forces us into transformation and growth. So we're seeing two extreme forms of transformation and development, right? One is a literal letting go and a destruction, a movement, a change, right? And then the other is through that disciplined action, through that strength of character, through the pursuit of desire beyond all else, through that focus, through that lust, and that strength to be able to overcome the odds and do what is necessary. And it's all in the pursuit of that love. That love, what is it going to inspire us? When we can learn to be in that ego-free zone, when we can engage with our partner in that full completeness, when we can do that, what will result? Death. And we will be reborn into that energy of passion, lust for life, revivified through that love. And that love will produce creation. Let's see where this is going. Out of that love at the bottom of our square, we see the Six of Cups. We see the Six of Cups, the middle path, love and community realized in that perfected form. Wow. And again, we're seeing this image of the sacred birds. We're seeing an eagle here and that sun. And we're drawing down that love into the waters where they manifest and flow in that reciprocal loving nature, in that balance. And it's a result of this love again, when we embrace love. Wow, let's continue. When we can truly embrace that love, not only does the Six of Cups manifest that community, but then this is a victory, right? This is the Six of Wands. We're now seeing a second six. And this is a second middle path. In that fiery flame, this is achieving our dreams, manifesting our desires, having that profound effect in its most incredible form, right? When you can embrace love, what comes? You manifest that loving, flowing community. You achieve your desires in perfected balance, nonetheless. Wow, interesting. Then we have the Eight of Cups, indolence. What are we achieving victory over? What is the love replacing? We had seen this energy before. This is something that's been coming up in our communal readings, that indolent energy, that inability to fully commit or engage, to be feeling pulled thin, right? And overwhelmed to the point where we then stop, where appearance matters more than connection, right? Yes, and it brings in an action that can turn to laziness, But there is a flow here, but it's more about an inability to move forward because we are so overwhelmed, so overwhelmed. And what we're seeing here is that through that focus with that lover, we are able to reduce the connections. We're able to bring us back to that balance of the six, and it's just about being organized and being in flow and not paying attention to what doesn't flow, right? And to move and to do, to engage, right? And that manifests the victory, right? Wow. And again, we see this, it's a pursuit of desire, that pleasure, right? Oof. That will overcome that indolent energy, that restrictive energy, that energy that is not moving, that's pulled too thin. Let's continue. Oh, wow. This is interesting. At the top of our square, also connected to the lovers, we have the Five of Cups, disappointment. We overcome the disappointment of the communal failures when we embrace that loving energy again, when we're willing to work and commit to others and to give up that ego and to embrace that transformation. And we transform that five into the six. We transform that five into the six, right? We overcome the past. We succeed where we failed by embracing love and embracing engagement, right? Wow, that's beautiful. Where's this going? Yeah. Amazing. Again, it's about, with that shared loving perspective, we're going to imagine and create a new foundation, a new building within the earth, something that we're going to seek to achieve and to expand and to grow towards, right? And it begins here with this image, right? With that creative energy of Harpocrates, the child to come, imagining something greater than you both, right? And it is that energy of building and engaging together, right? We see the lover connecting at the cross here. And then we see this energy connecting to that Five of Cups, the disappointment. So we overcome that disappointment through building. And it begins here with that imagining, what are we building in the earth? What do we seek to achieve? What does our tower look like, right? Beautiful. Where's it going? Wow. Also the Ace of Fire, right? So what I'm seeing here is that at this top row, we're supposed to recognize the disappointment, right? Anytime there's been failures that are falling or happening here, the reason why they're falling is because we have not properly engaged with these root energies, these aces, the Ace of Discs, which is that building in the earth and that manifestation to bring about that Harpocrates, that new generation, something greater and that will outlive you, right? And then that energy of the Ace of Wands, desire and its completion. What do we truly want? What is our will? What is our purpose, right? What are we envisioning? right? We have to really engage at that root, at that beginning, right? And it's when we go back to those beginnings and we re-engage with the inspiring energies that brought us here, that we overcome the disappointment. And we can truly properly engage these when we do them in that shared perspective of the lovers, right? This is something that is greater than you and must come from that harmonious union, that must come from that engagement, from that process of working it out with another perspective. You know, it's when you do that that this transforms into that six, that pleasure, that reciprocal flow. Interesting. Let's continue. All right. Now, let's start here with that death. When we can embrace this letting go, when we can truly begin that transformation and let go of the past, we can move forward in new pursuits, is when we can engage with that victory. It's when we can manifest our desire, but we have to disengage from the past and try something different. We have to imagine what we want to build for ourselves. Beautiful energy. Our lovers, right? It is when we embrace that loving connection, that other, and we can work in harmony and balance each other, that we can overcome the disappointment and manifest that flowing, reciprocal, loving, communal energy, you know, in balance and harmony. Beautiful energy. The lust. We need to be inspired and engaged, right? That laziness, that disconnected energy is coming from a lack of engagement, and it's a lack of self-discipline. It is about allowing oneself to be distracted, to be pulled thin, to be caught up in bull, right? The indolence energy is also about engaging in needless conflict and needless connections, right? Energies that drain us, not energies that are reciprocal in love and flow, right? But when we can go to the root, to what truly drives and inspire us, when we can focus on that, we will manifest the strength. We can engage with that self-disciplined, actionable energy of Lady Babylon. We can overcome that indolence. We can bring ourselves back into reciprocal flow. And again, we do this through that inspiration of the love, right? It's the love that is going to bring you that ability to become that self-disciplined actor. You know, Medea must be tempered in steel, right? She has to go through the trials and tribulations and rise to the occasion, and so must we all. You know, and what we're seeing here is that she must face that transformation. She must go through that death and have the strength to stay connected in love and to come out greater with that fire of strength, with that root of understanding what they're doing, what inspires you. But it will take that other, that partner. All right, let's continue. We're now going to look at our crosses. So we'll start here. Another way we overcome the indolence energy is by doing something practical, something real and tangible that we can truly manifest and work towards and build and imagine, not spreading ourselves too thin in needless connection for the sake of connection and then doing nothing. This is about regrounding ourselves into the earth and about working towards that new generation, about manifesting the completed tower in all of its glory. Right? Beautiful. Wow. When we can get to what we truly desire, and we can do so and share that energy with our lover in that communal flow, that's when the victory manifests. That's when victory manifests. That's when we can realize and achieve our dreams. It's when we balance these things. But it begins with us going back to the roots, to ask those key questions. What do you truly want in life? What do you actually desire? What have you always been seeking? And then to engage that alchemical loving process, and through that engagement, be able to achieve the victory, be able to manifest that desire. Beautiful. Wow. Again, right? It's all about embracing that love to make the changes necessary, to be that self-disciplined actor, and to both be that child who imagines and envisions, and to be that Lady Babylon that overcomes and rises to the occasion and does what is necessary. All right, everyone, that's the reading. I hope it resonated with you. It certainly resonated with me. All right. Beautiful. Let's do one final sortes, and then we'll call it an evening. All right. Lewis Carroll, Alice Adventures in Wonderland, and Through the Looking Glass. Muses, what is the message from Lewis Carroll? I don't know what you mean by your way, said the Queen. All the ways about here belong to me. But why did you come out here at all? Imagine, right? We're all wearing masks of that great mother. There's only one way. You just got to learn to flow. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope I see you again tomorrow for more live tarot and sortes. Until then, take care.